Hello, in this video we're going to go over the engineering component and learn a little bit about nanobot technology. The activity you're going to be doing, this is the activity, nanotechnology. So we're going to watch a video about nanotechnology, and after 2 minutes you're going to stop the video and answer this question. So let's get started on that.
What is nanotechnology and why should you care? Before we get too technical, try this. Pick up something that's close to you. Anything. It might be a glass, or a smartphone, or even a t-shirt. It doesn't really matter what. Now, think about what this thing does well. It could be holding water, or chasing Pokemon, or if you're thinking about that t-shirt, making you feel awesome. Then think about what it doesn't do so well, perhaps smashing when you drop it, or running out of power just when you need it, or thinking about that t-shirt still, smelling of BO after you've worn it for a couple of days. It might not be obvious, but all of these things, the good stuff and the bad, depend on the individual atoms that make up the things around us, and importantly, how they're put together. It's a bit like a car working because of how all the individual bits are arranged. It's not just a case of having 4 wheels, an engine and a steering wheel. They all have to be in the right place if you want a car that gets you to where you're going without falling apart. Of course, atoms are a bit smaller than the wheels on a car, but the same idea holds. How the different atoms in something are arranged can affect things like how strong or how weak it is, or if it conducts electricity, or if you can see through it, or even what it feels like. In fact, pretty much anything that the stuff around you does, it does because of how all the different atoms it's made of are put together. And this includes the things that you don't want stuff to do, like breaking, or smelling, or running out of power. If we were really smart, of course, we'd make the stuff around us work better simply by doing a better job of arranging the different atoms it's made of.
That was the 2-minute mark, so now you get to summarize what was the main point in the video so far, and please do that right here. And then push play and we'll start again.
And if we were smarter still, we could make totally new stuff by putting atoms together in ways that we'd never done before. We could even start to create stuff that behaves in quite unusual ways, because when you start playing around with atoms, you can tap into some really weird quantum physics. The trouble is, atoms are really small, more than 1,000,000 times smaller than the tip of your pinky finger, and that means they're not that easy to work with. But over the past few years, scientists and engineers have become increasingly good at designing and engineering materials down at the level of atoms or small groups of atoms. And because this new technology involved doing stuff at such a minute scale, it's called nanotechnology.
Whoa, so we're stopping again. So what are the challenges of designing nanobots? Well, if you didn't get it, let's think about this for a second. Nano means really small, 10 to the negative 9th, whereas where 1 would be below kilo, and then decibel would be less than 1. So nano is really small. It's 10 to the negative 9th, or a billionth smaller. Nano is the length, how much your fingernail will grow in 1 second. So a nanometer, it'll grow 1 nanometer in 1 second. So it's a very small amount. We can kind of get a feel for it here. We have a hummingbird that is maybe roughly less than 100 millimeters, which is about 10 centimeters. All right, we have the top of a nail, which is about 1 millimeter. All right, we have red blood cells, which are 10 micrometers. So a nano is on the scale of your DNA molecules, all right, which are inside of the cell. So something very, very small. So what is the problem, again, with working with something that small? Well, as it said in the video, it's because it's really small. Hard to work with something or design something that is that small. Let's go ahead and see what the problems are with nanotechnology now.
Using their new skills, nanotechnologists are beginning to do cool stuff like creating materials that are really good at turning sunlight into energy, or using nanoscopically small particles to deliver anti-cancer drugs, or even turning polluted water into drinkable water. They're even finding new ways to make glass that doesn't break when you drop it, batteries that last longer, and even t-shirts that smell fresh after you've worn them for a few days. This is really powerful tech. It's helping us to do stuff we couldn't even dream of just a few years ago. But because nanotechnology is so powerful, we need to be really careful how we use it, just in case we end up causing more problems than we solve. The last thing we want is to make better solar cells that also destroy the environment, or design more efficient water filters that just happen to cause more pollution. Because of this, scientists and others are working hard to make sure we develop and use nanotechnology responsibly. But this isn't just down to nanotechnologists. It's something everyone can be part of, because at the end of the day, it's up to us to decide just how much we want nanotechnology-enabled products and what we're willing to put up with to get them.
Okay, so that finishes that part. So now we're on to part 2. You get to research a type of nanobac technology currently under development. So here's our nanos in the technology part. Well, there's all kinds of cool stuff going on. It's all kinds of applications in textiles, biochemistry, cosmetics, agriculture, biochemistry, optical, electronics, meteorology, defense, and energy. Right? So all you need to do is go to your search engine and say nanotechnology cure for diseases, and there's going to be some articles on this. Or go to YouTube and type in nanobots and medicine, and you might pull up a whole bunch of different videos you can watch that are fairly short. Or maybe nanobots in agriculture. Let's see what happens there. Nanobot bees change the world. So it shouldn't take so very long. Go ahead and do some research and answer these 3 questions. If you have any additional problems, please see your science teacher. Good luck.